we can say that every day that you've experienced a limitation in your life is creating the limited experience of your life tomorrow, if you let it. So, whilst we will discuss childhood, as the questioner has asked, what we actually wish to say is that let's take some of the emphasis off of these hugely magnified experiences of childhood as somehow being the cause of an inhibited life. Because actually, far too much of a deal can be made by trying to thrash around in the undergrowth of the dark childhood experience, in trying to create a positive experience of tomorrow. Now, this isn't to suggest that there can be no dark, deep experiences in the undergrowth of childhood, but just to say that there has been an overwhelming, almost a movement of, well, your childhood experiences explains everything in your life. It really doesn't. Can we say it really doesn't? There is a reason that childhood experiences affect people in the present, and that is actually nothing to do with the experience in the childhood. It's the fact that what you chose to do was maintain that in your physical body, in your energy body, and in your light body as you progress through your life. Now, at some time along your journey, you have to be in a position to create the change that says, I don't want that in my physical body, energy body, light body. I don't want that. And the moment you make that decision, the moment you, the person you, says to you, I don't want that, it's gone. Now, there is a lot of alternative health, and there is a lot of alternative therapies, and there are a lot of well-meaning practitioners and all sorts that really harp on about the childhood experience, as if that can be the sum total cause of the life that you are living today. And we say the only cause of the life you are living today are the choices you are making the moment before the moment you experience, yet again, whatever it is that's ailing you in the life you are trying to create today. The only reason that you continue to create a limited experience of life in whatever that is manifesting for you in the life you are living is because you are continuing to choose it the moment before you experience it yet again. If you make the choice, I don't want that, it's done. Now, there will be people saying, it's not that simple, it's not that simple. We say, with all due love and respect, it really is. And if you overcomplicate the issue, it's because you don't fully understand the power of you. You don't understand the power of your mind. You don't understand the power of your choice in life. Choice, choice, choice. We keep saying it. Freedom of choice. It's everything. And you have that power every moment of your day, every moment of your life. There is nothing that can harm you, nothing that can influence you, nothing that can build you or build the world that you're building around you if you don't choose it and continue to choose it every day of your life. So whilst we will address the childhood experience, for it isn't insignificant, and we don't wish to imply that it is, what we say to people that have had experiences in childhood, in youth, in their 20s, 30s, 40s, yesterday, is all the same. If you choose to make that experience an expression of you in the life you're trying to lead, you will do so. If you say, I don't want that, you will automatically start to create a life. Find the choices in your life that will affirm to, I don't want that. But you see, your choice has to be such that it is unwavering. You see, people have very confused concepts about what they do and do not want. We say, I don't want that. But actually what you fail to look at is, if you truly didn't want that, it wouldn't be there. So why do you want it? Because that's the only question you need to ask. Why do you want it still to be there? What's it giving you? What's it affording you? Because the moment you truly do not want it, I tell you now, it's gone. So the question, therefore, isn't, how can I get rid of this? The question is, why am I allowing it to remain? Once you go into that question, you will uncover the sources of your choice to maintain that limitation in your existence. It's giving you something. It's rewarding you something. Once you uncover that, well, then you can be free to say, okay, I've chosen this. If I truly do not want this, I can let go of the reward that it is somehow giving me. I can find a different reward. I can find a better reward, a higher reward, a greater reward. Okay, now I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. So let's explore the childhood. Okay, because there is an element of truth that says that, you see, what happens to children to a degree is one of the few times in your life, we will say, that things can occur to you that you are not necessarily asking for in the physical plane that you are here for. There are other things going on. We don't need to discuss that at this time, but in this question. But in childhood, you are, as has been expressed through enlightened scientists, that the description has been a sponge, and that this is how you learn how to be. And it's to a degree, it's true. And children absorb information through almost a lack of filter. You see, we put filters in place every day that we live. We learn to put filters in place, we're encouraged to put filters in place, and we're designed through nature, physicality, to put filters in place so that we can actually live, so that we can function, and so that we can begin in some semblance of the way to explore the world in the way that we wish to explore it. Without any filters at all, you see, it becomes overwhelming. So as a child, you are probably the least filtered that you will be. So therefore, the influence upon you is much more than as you experience life, as you grow up, as you mature, and you have filters put in place, and you put filters in place for you. So yes, the childhood experience can be one of overwhelmment. Let's say that, you see, because childhood experience is so many things. It's extremes. Children are extremes. We look at children and they haven't learnt balance, perhaps you could call it, as we know as we develop and we age and we mature, that balance is the way to exist in harmony with yourself and with the world around you and all these wonderful things. Balance. Children have no balance. It's all or nothing. Children have no ruler set in the middle gauge to suggest that, okay, I'm getting too excited now, let's come back to balance. Okay, I'm getting too depressed now, let's come back to balance. I'm getting too upset now, let's come back to balance. They have no balance. They have to learn balance. So if they have no balance, then everything is extreme. So therefore, all of their experiences are extreme. Take a child who first begins to understand Christmas, and you will see extreme positive excitement energies overwhelming. Take a child who experiences some form of loss, and it will be extreme. There will be no middle ground here. You have to teach them middle ground. You have to teach them perspective, shall we say. They have no perspective as a child, because all experiences are extreme. Now, you take an experience for a child that by the very nature that they are children means that it's extreme, and then don't put a filter to say that there is any way that we're going to filter in or filter out this information for my own choice. And you can see that, of course, there is an experiential time here as a child where things have an ability to become very influential. But the suggestion that a childhood experience, when you're mature and when you're developed and when you're aware, and I will address awareness in a minute because that is key, can have an influence over your life once you have decided, I don't want that, is ridiculous. Because you see, you have maturity and you have awareness and you have filters now in place and you have concepts and constructs of what you are, who you are, and where you want to be. Once you have those in place, you are free to make choices, and every day becomes a free choice to determine where you're going, where you're not going. Your choice. So therefore we would say, okay, let's not over-dramatize the childhood experience. It's there, it's real. But today you're making a choice for tomorrow, today. And the suggestion that you are incapable of quite simply overriding a childhood experience is nonsense. And the idea that you have to do really deep, meaningful work in order to eradicate childhood is nonsense. The only decision you have to truly make throughout every layer of your being is, I don't want it. I don't want this. The moment that is your truth, your clarity, it's gone. The reason it's not gone is because that's not your clarity and your truth. So why isn't it your clarity and your truth is where you need to go. If you are a child who has had a traumatic experience, let's first of all accept that you are an unfiltered experiential being as a child. Everything is extreme. The influence that you perceived as a child, that was, and some of them will be extreme, but let's bear in mind some of them will not. It will register extreme because at that time you had no filters, because at that time you were an extreme being with no balance. So let's just work that into the equation in your adult mind now, that perhaps the event that occurred wasn't as extreme as it's been made out to be, that perhaps it was felt to be more extreme because you were an unfiltered, extreme, experiential being in your youth. And let's feed that into the idea that perhaps this experience in your childhood does not have to be all overwhelming, does not have to be all-encompassing, does not have to determine what you experience tomorrow. Let's start there. Let's start with that. Now, on the occasion where your experience as a child was overwhelming and was traumatic and was all-encompassing, we would say that you need to understand that today is the day that you decide for tomorrow. And any decisions you make today determine tomorrow. You are, in your awareness, and we'll address awareness, you are now free to choose your life forevermore. No one and nothing could be done on you in the past to influence the life you live tomorrow without your consent, without your choice to say, I want this. I want this. The moment you decide and you just choose, I don't want this, it's gone. This is power. And every person on the planet has it. And to suggest that you can't overcome something that happened to you 20 years ago, 50 years ago, is ridiculous. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. If you feel it's overwhelming, it's because you're choosing today to give significance to an event that happened 20, 50 years ago. So we say again, why are you choosing to give it significance? That's where your reward lies. That's where your influence is. Go into that question. Why are you choosing to keep this? Why? What's it giving you? If the childhood experience is too overwhelming for you to deal with on your own, feel free to seek support and help. There's a lot out there, and we do not wish to diminish the support and love and guidance that's out there to support you. But make no mistake, it's a choice you make. By choosing, I don't want this, is the key to finding your experience of tomorrow, absent from whatever it was that occurred to you in your childhood. So there is a great deal of support out there. There's energy work, which is very effective. There are healing therapies that are very effective. There are counseling work that can be very effective. And we say, okay, if you need support, human beings are here to support each other. Human beings are all one, so support each other through this is fine. I don't wish to say that you can't use other people to support and help you, but make no mistake, your decision has to come or no therapy will work. And how many therapists out there will know that there's some people that keep coming back, and you know that you've helped people, you know that you've healed people, you know, but this person can't be helped. It's not you, it's them. They need to address why. Why am I choosing to make this a part of my life today? Why? Because if I chose truly with everything that is me, I don't want this, it would be gone. It would be gone. So why aren't you with clarity and truth and honesty and openness and fully engaged in every ounce of my being? I don't want this. Why am I not there? Why? That's the key question. Why? So I've said occasionally throughout this response that awareness is the key. Okay. So obviously the questioner is aware because they wouldn't be asking the question. So in that moment of awareness, you are now free to make choice. In that moment of awareness, of asking the question, you are now free to determine tomorrow. That's fact. You are free to say, I don't want this. And if you can't find that, why? Without awareness, obviously, you can be recreating bad choices, limited choices, closed choices for your experience on life, and you are unaware that you have influences that you are choosing to carry with you. Well, okay, let's see. All you have to do is look at the life you're living and ask yourself a question. Does the life I'm living make me happy? If it's no, then you are not making positive choices to find your joy in the life you are living today. Today. Why? Why are you not making positive choices to create joy in the life you're living today? There's the question. In that moment, you now also have awareness. As you have awareness, you are now free to choose. I don't want this. If you're not making that choice, I don't want this, you need to say, why am I not choosing to say, I don't want this? Always, 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 we keep coming back. Life is simple. You see, when you don't understand the power that you have, when you don't understand the power that you are, life gets very complicated because we try to overcomplicate the things that we can't seem to do ourselves. If we can't do it, well, it must be complicated because I know that I'm a creative human being. I know that I'm a strong human being. So if I can't do it, it must be complicated. No, you haven't addressed the why. Are you not choosing to do it? It's very simple. Keep things simple and life will just get easier and easier. Don't overcomplicate life is our biggest point of the day. Because life is not here to be complicated. Life's to be lived and life's to be enjoyed. Life's to be lived and life's to be enjoyed. Now, what's hard about that? We make it hard. And the question is, why are you making it hard? Now we're free. Make better choices. Make free choices. The choices you make today determine your experience tomorrow. And nobody and nothing that was done on you in the past can affect that once you have the awareness today that you are free to choose what your life is like tomorrow. Don't over-complicate and over-confuse the situation. You could say childhood, you could say youth, you could say 20s, 30s, or even just yesterday. If you choose to make that significant in your life today, it will be significant in your life tomorrow. I don't want it. With every cell of your being, with every part of your physical, energy, spiritual, emotional being, it's gone. If you can't say that with the clarity of who you are, with the truth of being in who you are, the question you need to ask is why? Why can't I say that? There will be your answer. Awareness breeds choice. Choice means I move on. I move on. Youth doesn't have to be this big, deep, dark place of experiences that were done to you that are now destroying your life. They don't. There are things that happen in childhood that are extreme, but not very often for many people, thank goodness. Small things feel extreme because you were an extreme being as a child. You're not now. Now you're adult. Now you have awareness. Now you can have perspective. Now you can put your filters in place. Okay, can I let that go? Of course, of course. And if I can't seek support and seek help, but know that the choice resides with you, know that the power resides with you, no healer, no helper can get you to a place where you're not willing to go. First, it's you. Make that choice. Make that choice. I don't want this. With love.